Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game Strategy. Strategy is a type of solitaire card game, but it is vastly different from any other solitaire game. When playing Strategy, the player has 8 waste piles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, where they must place cards from the stockpile, dealing them out one at a time. Do note that you do need a standard 52 card deck in order to play Strategy. The player also has 4 foundations that they must build up from ace to king, but the trick is that you are not allowed to place any cards onto any foundation piles until every card from the stockpile has been discarded in the waste piles. When placing cards in the waste pile, you must try and place larger cards on the bottom of the pile and lower valued cards further up. This is because the player may only take the top cards off of the waste pile to use them in building up the foundations. The player wins when they have moved all of the cards from the waste piles into the foundations. And so let us just do a quick demo here. You will see that it is indeed very easy. We have another 4 here. 6. We have a queen. We have a 10. I do note that once you place a card in a waste pile, you cannot really move it. And so you must, and every card must have a placement, right? And so what we'll do here is place that king there. We then have a 5 of clubs, but we'll place that there. Place hopefully our jack of clubs. Do note that once again, a card is stuck in a waste pile once you place it to become boring. As you can see, this is what I am doing. Obviously, you would like to place the cards strategically rather than randomly placing them. Why? That is simply much smarter. Now, we will continue playing like so. Sincerely apologize for the amount of time it's taking here, but that is to be expected, as this is a game where you manually have to place every card out of the deck. I sincerely apologize. Okay, so that was quite a long sequence, and it might have been somewhat boring. And so what we will do is we will do our best to sort of reason through what to do next. And so, right, once again, a standard 52 card deck. You have 8 waste piles where you must place cards, dealing them out one at a time from the stockpile. You are not allowed to build any of the foundation piles until you have discarded every card from the stockpile. Now, you win when you, once again, after you do this, you get every card on the foundation pile. So we will indeed try our best here, but we will not do that well. But as you can see, you basically build your tableau or your columns of cards by yourself based off of the draws you make, and then you choose to place it. So there are two elements to strategy which make it much harder than other solitaire games. Number one, and actually we'll talk about this we'll talk about this at the end, but there are two elements which make it much harder than a traditional solitaire game. And so as you can see, we are already stuck. And so you can see that it is quite hard. So let us talk about the elements that make strategy such a hard game. You have two elements. You have the phase where you are building your columns. That involves a lot of strategy. Then you also have the phase where you are placing cards into the foundation piles, which also involves strategy. And you also have, on top of that, an element of randomness, in that you could get a bad game if the cards you flip are all over the place and they aren't really helping you out in yours in the way you are playing. So what we will actually do here is we will pause the video. I will set up, I'll play for about an hour and see if I can set up a proper game. If that's possible, then I will play until I set up a proper game, and then I will show it. So we have resumed. Keep in mind that the last card of the stockpile does not have to be placed in the waste pile. It's simply a card that can be used whenever. And so we will build our piles. Notice how I attempted to keep the lower value cards at the bottom. This is so that it is easier for me to sort of build and play. The Ace of Hearts is up there. That's very hard to reach. What I can do, notice how this is not like traditional solitaire. You cannot move the cards around. So if you don't place them in a order such that a legal move is possible, you have effectively lost the game. You cannot move the cards around. Once you place them, they are placed. So keep in mind, you must place them strategically and in a proper manner. That essentially wraps up how to play strategy. It's a harder solitaire game in that there are two phases and there is no room to really manipulate your card placements. You must play strategically, and you must be able to deal with the random element of the stock deck. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.